Nobody got no beef with Eminem. Ain't no rapper popping nothing about Eminem. Ain't nobody saying nothing. I'm not even gonna say nothing bad about Eminem, cause way too much stuff rhymes with rock, right? But Eminem don't even like his own mama. So Lord knows what he'll say about your black ass, okay? And Eminem's a white rapper, so his record's gonna be on every station, the country station, the talk station. The black rapper's just on Hot 97. Now you gotta watch where you sit, everybody. You can't sit 50 near Ja Rule. You can't sit Jay-Z near Nas. Everybody gotta watch out for. You got the Olsen twins over there, so then you gotta put R. Kelly way up there.
Eminem was that one rapper nobody wanted to cross, no matter how big their name was. Not even Will Smith ever got bold with him. So when Will walked onto the Oscar stage in 2022 and slapped Chris Rock, the whole world froze. But people who really know the culture instantly wondered, would he have ever tried that with Eminem? Because as wild as it sounds, back in the early 2000s, something almost popped off between them. And what happened next is something Will probably still wishes he could rewind. See, Eminem wasn't just some random white rapper chasing fame. He came straight out of Detroit's roughest corners where surviving felt like a full-time job.
I never killed nobody in none of my records. I don't use no profanity in none of my records, and still I managed to get up here.
This is the same man who once stood face-to-face with Suge Knight and walked away to tell the story. That's not just tough, that's legendary energy. And trust me, this story only gets deeper from here. Long before the Oscars, back when award shows actually shaped culture, Will Smith was running Hollywood for real. In the late 90s, while MTV decided what was cool, Will was everywhere at once. He flipped that Fresh Prince charm into real movie star power with hits like Men in Black and Independence Day. He went from sitcom star to global superstar almost overnight. And the wildest part, he did something no rapper before him had pulled off at that level.
I don't have the accolades to connect to the performance of my music. I don't have the trophies that match how big the actual records are. The one Grammy I have is for Crack a Bottle. I couldn't even have that without him. You know, and that's why I have so much value for him, not just in my career, just in my life, because he's a guy that, one of my best friends, because I can trust that he's going to be honest with his constructive criticism when it's time to listen to the music before it goes out. He's the only person that did things that I wanted to do. He had the Marshall Mathers LP with 23 million records sold with flags all around the plaque. And I was like, yo, I want that. I want that kind of.
Will went multi-platinum without profanity, scandals, or chaos. Just clean bars and pure success. His 1997 solo debut, Big Willie Style, smashed charts worldwide, selling over 10 million copies. Then Millennium dropped in 1999 and hit even harder, earning him another Grammy. Will proved you didn't need street aggression to dominate the charts, and he carried that confidence everywhere. So when Will stood on stage at the 42nd Grammy Awards in 2000 and proudly said that rap didn't need profanity to succeed, the crowd cheered like he'd just laid down the blueprint for the culture. But behind the scenes, not everyone was smiling. Because all the way in Detroit, something was heating up, and it wasn't friendly.
Not everybody is as happy as Will Smith. If you feel strong enough about something, then you might put a little before you say exactly what you're...
That same year, a 26-year-old Marshall Mathers had just released the Slim Shady LP. A project so raw it felt like a ride through chaos, pain, and unfiltered emotion. It wasn't polished, it wasn't clean, and it definitely wasn't Hollywood friendly. Slim Shady was everything Will Smith wasn't. Unfiltered, intense, unpredictable. Eminem didn't hide struggle or anger. He put it right in your face. So when M heard Will's comment about clean rap success, it didn't land as casual to him. To Eminem, it felt targeted, like a quiet shot at artists who didn't have sitcom fame or blockbuster movies backing them up. Artists who had to bleed into their music just to be heard. Then came the tension-filled stories floating through the industry. According to people who were there, the energy around that era was heavy.
I've seen it all happen. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Yeah, all I know is I'm upstairs, I'm listening to my Will Smith CD, and I've seen all these flames going everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Hold on a minute, bitch.
You're destroying.
Hey, hold on a minute. Yo, Detroit what? Detroit what?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Detroit, baby.
Suge Knight was known for pressure tactics, and Eminem wasn't backing down from anyone. So when Eminem dropped The Real Slim Shady in 2000, he fired back in the most public way possible. Right in the middle of that iconic beat, he delivered a line that shook the entire industry, calling out Will Smith directly and making it clear that playing clean wasn't his lane. Radio stations panicked. Parents complained. But the youth went wild. Kids were shouting the lyrics in hallways and playgrounds like it was a national anthem. That line wasn't random. It was a direct strike at the polished, family-friendly version of hip-hop Will represented. And everybody knew it. Eminem's message was loud. He wasn't here to play safe or follow Hollywood formulas. And the tension went deeper than clean versus explicit. It cracked open a bigger conversation about power and authenticity. While Will Smith was flying first class to movie sets and red carpets, Eminem was fighting lawsuits, dodging threats, battling addiction, and getting censored non-stop. He wasn't just making music, he was surviving. Grammy popularity wasn't his goal. All M wanted was raw respect, the kind earned through honesty, fearlessness, and living what you rap. That single bar lit a darker question across hip-hop. Fans started whispering, was Will Smith actually intimidated by Eminem? What would have happened if they ever met face to face? To Hollywood, Eminem first looked like a joke. A loud, bleach-haired troublemaker screaming into a mic. Many assumed he'd crash out fast. But behind the scenes, that couldn't have been further from the truth. By 1999 in Detroit, Eminem wasn't moving off fame. He was backed by something real. His brother Proof wasn't just a friend. He was a respected battle rap legend, the heart of D12, and someone whose name carried weight in the streets. Proof wasn't there for hype. He was there to make sure Eminem was respected in places where fame meant nothing. He was M's street translator, his protector, his credibility. Because of Proof, Eminem wasn't just tolerated, he was protected like family. And then everything changed. In 1998, Dr. Dre made a move that rewrote hip-hop history. He signed Eminem to Aftermath Entertainment, a decision that flipped the industry upside down. Dre, already a legend from NWA and Death Row, had just found his most unpredictable weapon. With Dre's beats, business power, and industry reach combined with Eminem's raw fearlessness, the game was never the same again. And from that moment on, nobody looked at Eminem as just a rapper anymore. Eminem didn't just pop from a local spark to national fame, he turned into a nationwide problem real fast. Meanwhile, Will Smith had no idea what was forming behind that wild, cartoonish, Slim Shady image. What looked chaotic on the surface was actually something calculated. Eminem was becoming a strategic force with one of the strongest support systems in the music game. This wasn't just rap anymore. This was structure, influence, and protection working together in ways most people never saw coming. By 2000, Eminem wasn't just rapping about problems. He was dealing with real ones in real time. That summer, he was arrested after an altercation involving a firearm at the Hot Rock Sports Bar in Warren, Michigan. This wasn't staged or exaggerated for attention. It was a real situation unfolding off camera. Eminem was handling beef on the mic and pressure in real life at the same time, proving his story wasn't just music, it was survival. Then in 2002, the entire landscape shifted again. 50 Cent, already buzzing heavy in the streets, signed a joint deal with Eminem's Shady Records and Dr. Dre's Aftermath. This wasn't just another signing, it was a full takeover. With Dre's resources, Interscope's reach, and Eminem's fearlessness, G-Unit became a powerhouse overnight. Shady, Aftermath, and G-Unit formed a triangle of strength that could either shield their own or shut situations down fast. So when Eminem snapped on a track, it was never just one voice. Behind every bar stood Dre, 50, D12, Jimmy Iovine, and a full lineup of legal muscle and industry strategists. This wasn't rap beef, it was calculated movement. But Eminem's biggest test didn't happen in a studio. It showed itself in the shadow of Death Row Records. Zoog Knight wasn't just a name, he was a presence. In the early 2000s, his reputation alone made executives nervous. Most people avoided him completely, but Eminem didn't flinch. According to The Game, one night Suge rolled up uninvited, lights low, crew deep, and the energy turned ice cold instantly. Some people left, others froze, but Eminem stood his ground like he wasn't afraid of anything. He was ready if it went there. No hesitation. And 50 Cent, someone who really understood the streets, stood right beside him without blinking. That moment mattered. Suji built his empire on fear, but here stood a rapper from Detroit who didn't just talk tough. Eminem had the mindset, the team, and the backing to stand firm. And that sent a message the industry never forgot. Most fans thought Eminem's security was just hired bodyguards. But behind the scenes, it went deeper. According to long-running industry talk, Eminem had serious alliances in place. There were reports he had ties to Samoan groups in Los Angeles, known for loyalty, discipline, and unity. Whether paid or not, this wasn't basic security. It was real protection with real names behind it. These groups were known for staying active and standing together, making sure Eminem moved safely wherever he went. They didn't just keep him safe, they made him untouchable in ways fans never heard about. Meanwhile, Will Smith was living in a completely different world by 2001. Hollywood premieres, blockbuster movies, award shows, political handshakes. His image couldn't have been further from Eminem's. So when Eminem took a lyrical shot at Will stayed silent. And honestly, that silence was the smartest move. By that point, beefing with Eminem wasn't just stepping into a rap argument. It meant poking a whole machine. A machine backed by Dre's strategy, Proof's street grounding, and 50's rising influence. Eminem wasn't just a rapper anymore, he was a fortress. And Will understood that this wasn't about clever bars or clean hooks. It was about who had real power behind their words. To the public, Will's Grammy speech sounded positive and harmless. Media praised it, parents loved it, and the industry pushed it as inspirational. But behind the scenes, things were heating up fast. People close to Interscope later admitted Eminem took that comment personally. To him, it felt aimed, like a quiet move to undermine him. This wasn't just about clean lyrics anymore. It turned into a fight over control, over who shaped hip-hop's future. One side was polished for primetime TV. The other was raw, chaotic, and born from struggle. Will wasn't just speaking for himself. He represented a whole system. Studio executives, award committees, corporate labels, and gatekeepers who didn't want someone like Eminem running the culture. By mid-2000, Eminem felt the pressure closing in. His lyrics were scrutinized, videos edited, performances censored, lawsuits piling up from all directions. He felt boxed in. So when Will dropped that no profanity line at the Grammys in February 2000, right as the Slim Shady LP was exploding, Eminem didn't see coincidence. To him, Will looked like the industry's perfect spokesperson. Clean, polite, smiling for cameras. Eminem answered the only way he knew how, with bars. Just 3 months later, in May 2000, he dropped The Real Slim Shady. And right in the middle of that track came the line that shook everything. No metaphors, no hiding, a direct shot, radio stations scrambled, schools banned it, parents complained, but fans loved it. By June 2000, the song hit #1 in the UK and smashed into the US charts. MTV couldn't stop playing the video. Eminem wasn't just winning, he was going global at light speed. It couldn't keep up with the cultural wave. Eminem was pushing forward, hip-hop was shifting, and everybody could feel it in real time. That's when the whispers started moving through the industry. Word was that right after Eminem's track hit the air, a closed-door meeting went down, either inside Sony Music or over at Columbia Pictures, and Will Smith was quietly advised to fall back. No diss track, no response, no interviews, just silence. And the rumor that hit hardest pointed straight at Dr. Dre. People said Dre, who had deep Hollywood ties and worked closely with people around Will, personally told him to leave it alone. Some insiders say the message was calm and respectful. Others say it felt heavier. Either way, the meaning was clear. Will Smith never spoke on Eminem again. Not in interviews, not in music, not even casual chatter. Nothing. The pivot was fast. By 2001, Will locked all the way into Hollywood. Alley dropped, then Men in Black 2 in 2002, Bad Boys 2 in 2003. His rap career quietly slid into the background. Meanwhile, Eminem kept swinging. The Marshall Mathers LP dropped in May 2000 and sold 1.76 million copies in its first week. That record stood untouched for over a decade. And even with global fame, red carpets, and nonstop success, the tension between Eminem and Will never fully disappeared. At BET Awards, MTV Movie Awards, Grammy pre-parties, both showed up but never exchanged a word. No handshakes, no nods, no eye contact. Fans noticed immediately. Even body language analysts pointed it out. Two giants in the same room pretending the other didn't exist. Eminem usually rolled deep with Proof or 50 Cent, keeping a wide buffer. Will Smith stayed surrounded by publicists or family and did the same. According to Hollywood insiders, event planners even staggered arrivals and seated them far apart just to avoid anything popping off. By then, the dynamic had shifted. Will was still the polished media favorite, the clean, charming box office king. But the power? It was slowly leaning toward Eminem. By 2002, M wasn't just dropping hits, he was stepping into Hollywood too. 8 Mile was in motion. Studios were chasing him. And behind him stood Dre, Jimmy Iovine, and a rising 50 Cent, forming a tight triangle of influence. Eminem wasn't just surviving anymore. He was rewriting the rules. Will Smith understood the system better than almost anyone in Hollywood, and he knew starting a conflict he couldn't control wasn't smart. So the silence stayed ice cold. No comments, no acknowledgement. And it lasted for years. Fans thought the drama died off. Truth is, it never died, it just went quiet. The tension slipped into the background, waiting, because in Hollywood, not every rivalry ends with a diss track. Some just pause. By the early 2000s, Eminem wasn't just the loud, controversial rapper anymore. Behind the scenes, he moved calculated, aware, protected. To the public, he was still edgy. To people in the streets and behind closed doors, he was something else entirely. Then, in 2003, new whispers surfaced. Rumors claimed certain groups in South Central LA wanted Eminem to check in before filming or performing in specific areas. In that world, check in wasn't friendly. It meant respect, awareness, and understanding the environment. Most artists avoided it or sent middlemen. Calls were made, conversations happened, and Eminem still pulled up. He didn't hide, didn't sneak around, and he didn't come alone. People close to Aftermath said Eminem wasn't moving with just suits and earpieces. His real protection came through Dr. Dre's circle, a tight, loyal group that understood real pressure. They'd survived the death row era. They knew how to keep situations calm when energy shifted. That loyalty to Dre extended automatically to Eminem. Keeping him safe became priority. And back in Detroit, M had his own shield. Proof wasn't just a hype man. He handled situations, kept chaos away, and made sure Eminem could move safely in his own city. Proof brought in trusted 313 affiliated people, organizers, protectors, real ones who knew how to keep things from going sideways. In New York, Eminem linked up with 50 Cent, who already carried serious weight before Get Rich or Die Tryin'. Exploded. When 50 came, G-Unit came with him. A crew built under pressure, loyal, and unified. Eminem, Dre, and 50 formed a coast-to-coast alliance under Shady Aftermath that felt bigger than music. Insiders say Eminem even helped personally support parts of 50's early tours, promo runs, and logistics to keep things organized and safe. This wasn't a label, it was a structure built on loyalty and protection. There were no documents, no headlines. But in a 2003 Hot 97 interview, 50 said it best. Eminem believed in me when nobody else did. That said everything. After that, Eminem never moved solo. Award shows, Miami parties, Chicago media runs, his movements were layered. Yes, private security was there, but blended in were trusted allies from multiple cities. Eminem watched what happened to Tupac Shakur. He understood how fast fame mixed with tension could turn deadly. So he adapted. Smarter planning, stronger structure. By 2004, Shady Records wasn't just a brand, it was a fortress. During a 2004 LA show, a West Coast group slipped backstage. Witnesses say they left quickly after realizing Eminem wasn't surrounded by regular staff. Dre's Samoan allies and Detroit support had flown in specifically for that night. Eminem wasn't an easy target. He had alliances in Detroit, New York, and Los Angeles, the three toughest hip-hop cities. Even his music reflected it. White America, Till I Collapse, like toy soldiers, full of metaphors about pressure, loyalty, betrayal, and leadership. That fear wasn't fake. It came from real life. Will Smith lived protected by studios, agents, and PR teams. Eminem learned how to survive inside tension and thrive. By 2005, the debate was clear. Was Eminem just intense or operating on another level? Anyone who crossed paths with him already knew the answer. So why did Will Smith ever mention Eminem at all? Some say jealousy. Others say Hollywood pushed him to represent a cleaner image. Either way, it backfired. Eminem flipped that clean style into something that looked soft. When he showed up at the Grammys wearing a Free Yayo shirt, it wasn't for TV. It was a message for the streets. After the Oscar slap, people joked, would Will ever try that with Eminem? The answer was always the same, no chance. One bar shut it down. Will never responded, because deep down he knew Eminem wasn't just the stronger rapper. He was the one you didn't challenge, on or off the mic. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next.